Okay. Probably doesn't understand what we're saying. Doesn't look like any cog. Whoops! Sorry! No offense intended!
You there! You dare disrespect our elder? Oh, you mean... Oh, I see. Sorry, my mistake. Apparently you are here by invitation. Some introductions are in order. I am Kaholam, one of the priests of our tribe. And this is our Iktomisor elder, the great Tlapokpok-Teets-Tatel, a living totem among the masters of the Nightwind.
Whoa, that's quite a tongue twister.
In truth, we usually go with Elder Tlapo for short. You're welcome to do the same. I assume your Elder Tlapo has been alive for many centuries and harbors secrets that even we priests are at a loss. But one thing I can say for sure is that Elder Tlapo has appointed...
What sort of task?
If it's all right...
Okay, sure.
Very well. You can use this scroll to go directly to the obsidian altar, where, don't worry, it's just one of the many mystical abilities. One of the routine duties of a priest. We attempt to contact the spirits of our ancestors to seek epiphanies and revelations. The chief is just over there.
Well, the masters of the Nightwind are definitely living.
All right, I've told the chief why we're here.
So, you two are the appointed ones. I am Chief Biram. Well...
So
unusually so. Yes, I am aware. But I assure you, it's no cause for alarm.
Oh, no, of course not. Sorry, Paimon just reacted without thinking.
Ah, yes. Kaholam told me about that. As outsiders to our tribe, this is probably the first you've heard of such appointments. I'm sure the whole thing seems very confusing. Throughout our history, only members of the Masters of the Nightwind have been appointed to undertake these tasks. This is the first time an outsider has ever been chosen.
Really?
Allow me to explain. Our tribe has an old tradition of recording history in the form of woven scrolls. And not just our own history. We record the legends and heroic feats of all other tribes as well. It is a tradition we have observed for many centuries. We treat it as a solemn duty. However, when a major event occurs that affects all of Natlan, we record it on a different kind of scroll, used for this exact purpose. And these scrolls can only be woven by someone of the Iktomisor Elder's choosing. When the Iktomisor Elder senses a major change in the ley lines, it will issue a formal declaration to appoint a creator for this scroll.
Whoa, so you mean...
Elder Telepo sensed a ley line change quite some time ago, but had not yet designated the Scroll Weavers until you arrived.
Okay, but just so you're aware...
As a matter of fact, that
How come?
in the 200 years that Elder Telepo has held this position...
Does that mean 200 years of major historical events?
No. They all submitted scrolls in time, yet each of them...
Man, this tribe gets more...
Yes. The notion that we have to rely on esoteric things like gifts from the spirits to record historical events of...
Huh. That's pretty surprising to hear, coming from the...
I can imagine. You probably see the masters of the nightwind, but I am something of an exception. I may be the chief, but when it comes to our traditions, I'm in fact a proponent of change, and I have dedicated my energies to deciphering the many mysteries of our tribe. In doing so...
Wow, that sounds great! So have you figured out...
Sadly not. It is something I've been investigating for only a small handful of events over the years have been recorded on these special and by the time the next Scroll Weaver is appointed, my time as chief will be long gone. I will not be in a position...
So...
While I haven't gotten to the bottom of the matter, I have made some progress. Precisely. It's nothing to be worried about. Simply a means of validating my current hypothesis. It shouldn't take you long. I can explain everything in detail when we get to the site of the test. But first, this garb is one of our important cultural relics, handed down by generations of chiefs. It is only to be worn when conducting certain ceremonies.
Oh...
Please, follow me. Do you see this scroll? If you touch it, today's test is quite simple.
That's it?
I assure you, it's not as easy as it sounds. If you cannot, but then we will be no closer to solving the good.
Whoa, we really did get teleported. Let's take a look around and see what we can find. So many woven scrolls here? I don't remember seeing some of them before. This one really stands out from the rest. For starters, it's the biggest of them all. Yeah. Over there, something just flashed. Traveler, did you catch that? Oh, right. Looks like our ticket out of this place.
It is just as I thought. You are indeed... Yes.
Sure did.
This specific kind of scroll was left to us by our ancestors. Upon investigation, I discovered it is a most mysterious color that most people cannot even detect. I myself, yet there are those who are born with a natural ability to perceive it.
You mean...
That space you just entered was an exhibition room for storing this variety of wovens centuries ago. A great shaman by the name of Huitzilin put in place a security measure so that anyone who entered the room without permission will become trapped inside. It exists to this day. And although I have not managed to decipher how it works, once someone is trapped inside, it is all but impossible for them to escape without outside help, unless they share the great shaman's ability to perceive that strange color. Clearly you must have this ability, which leads me to believe that our Iktomisor Elder can...
Another secret power? Traveler, you're... Still, having this ability doesn't change the fact that...
Don't worry about that. The method for weaving this kind of scroll appears to be largely the same as for an order. If my suspicions are correct, this dye is the key to weaving. The dyeing process is also a little different from the norm, but I don't anticipate any major issues there. As long as you two can source the dye itself...
Cool! We'll follow your...
Great! Then please use your abilities to source the necessary ingredient. We'll make a few sample pieces to test. If you agree to help, you can expect to be handsomely rewarded once this is all over. So...
Agreed! Especially if there's a reward in it.
Given the stakes involved for our tribe, I was thinking a substantial sum of mora would be appropriate. Surely that would be preferable to just a free meal.
Mora works too! Anyway, how do we go about finding these ingredients?
Thankfully not. I've already identified a location. Your guide is waiting just...
Try and stop me! All right.
I take it you're...
Yep!
Call me told...
Rev the engines! All right. Try and stop me! Is this our...
So the dye is somewhere in this cave, huh?
This is as far as I can take you. Only...
Why is that?
Kind of a long story. Apparently, there's a certain fruit that grows in this cave. Many years ago, our ancestors set out to make a series of ambitious works of graffiti art. However, they didn't want anyone to see their work before it was... To bypass the seal, you have to have mastered the art.
Oh, haven't we been in here before, though?
The strange thing is, our ancestors never removed the seal, even since it was sealed off. The only person who's been inside is the great shaman, Huitzilin. And according to her, the artwork tells the story, but I digress. Sorry, I'm a big...
So you're sure you don't want to come...
I'll pass. I tried to get in once, but the seal blocked my way. I guess it's supposed to be a test left there by our ancestors. Don't worry about me, though. I wouldn't be joining you. Unlike our chief, I don't have the guts to challenge our traditions. This task is specific.
Fair enough. All right. should be the place. That fruit Toltec mentioned should be the one on the wall, right? Paimon didn't notice it last time we were here. Now the only question is, which ones do we pick? Well, go ahead, try it out!
Fulfill our pact! Hear the echoes of the valley! Rev the engines! Something to add to my collection. Try and stop me!
Something, right? Whatever it was, grab it! Ancestors made some real works of art here. But based on what we've seen so far, it seems like there should be more to this. Do you think maybe there's more artwork further inside? Seems kinda strange. Oh, no need. Paimon was just thinking aloud. Toltec's waiting for us, and we have a job to do. So let's head back and meet up with...
Return to the skies!
These should be worth something.
All right. Get to work! Alright, let's finish this fast.
Strike a pose! Let the world come out! Show no mercy!
Wrath from the sky! Rev the engines!
The rewards of an adventure worth remembering. All right.
We're back, and we found the ingredients for the dye!
Sounds like you made it through the sea. It's getting late.
Toltec has updated me on your progress.
Sure thing! Here's the...
I see. Yes. This is certainly a very different substance from typical dyes.
Got it!
Please come with me.
Try and stop me!
Take a look at this. It's a woven scroll.
Ooh!
The person depicted is the legendary shaman, Huitzilin. She lived 200 years ago. She was especially skilled in the art of color manipulation. This scroll is a record of her deeds, and was most likely the work of her own hand. The quality is, sadly, since she passed away, all of our Ictomisor elders' subsequent appointees have had to rely on the gift from the spirits to complete their work. That's a good way of putting it. My only quibble with your phrasing would be...
Now Paimon's...
Bring out the samples. Now, as I mentioned, the dyeing process is a little complicated, but I am confident you will manage. Just make sure to follow. The pattern has already been sketched out on the sample, so you just need to dye each block with the correct color. But you'll need to wait for the dye to fully soak in between each step to make sure the colors don't run. Ha ha ha! Good! The dye has taken to the fabric, and the pattern is crisp and clear.
Okay, final step. Did it work? Paimon doesn't see it.
Oh, that color isn't showing up. Oh, the dyeing has failed. No, your technique was flawless. You did everything exactly as instructed.
Then what would...
It could be the weaving technique, or maybe the dye has to be applied in a different way.
Sorry, Paimon wishes we could...
I am the one who should be apologizing. I will, of course, honor my commitment to compensate you for your trouble, but I do hope you won't give up on this task.
Don't worry, we're not... Paimon does have a question, though. This whole process of recording history on woven scrolls seems so complicated. You said yourself you're all about change and reform. Well, this seems like a pretty good place to start, don't you think? Writing things down would be easier for everyone, and your records would be...
I think you perhaps misunderstood my philosophy, but that's okay. I can answer your question.
Oh, sure.
Full throttle!
Cool. Look at this view. What do you think?
It's gorgeous!
Now,
Whoa, that graffiti!
in all the years since the founding of our tribe, those colors have... It is true that I seek to bring new life to this ancient tribe through change and reform. But I also understand there are certain foundational things that we cannot afford to throw away. The foremost of these is the way...
Oh, that makes...
Since the very beginnings, our tribe has always sought to bring color to history. And I have... So, whatever it takes, I must find a way for us to continue...
You're completely right. Paimon's sorry for what she...
It's quite all right. I'm just grateful you're able to understand where I'm coming from. Then let us hope that when we next meet...
Try and stop me! Let's ride!
Huh? What are the Fatui doing here? That's a little concerning. Let's go over there and see what they're up to. Also, how did they get this close to a tribal settlement? Huh. All the Fatui left in Natlan are probably the captain's subordinates. That basically makes them followers of one of Natlan's heroes. Still, once a Fatus, always a Fatus. Something seems off seeing them here. Let's go check it out. What are you guys doing here?
Following orders. If you have a problem, take it up with our employer.
Hey, what's with the attitude? Can the Fatui even work for a private employer?
This is Grudok. I hired him to be my bodyguard in Natlan. As you can see, he's not the sociable type. I'm sorry for any offense. My original plan was to hire someone from the local tribes, but a priest recommended Grudok and his... I was told they were capable fighters and had the time to spare, so they fit the bill. It seems like the Fatu...
So that's what happened.
Precisely! Montluçon, at your service. I work in the public...
Oh!
A golden hair. Your exploits in Fontaine have all...
Wow! We're really famous at this point.
It's truly my lucky day. I know this is sudden, but I was actually looking for you.
So...
You'll be generously rewarded.
Well, at least he got straight to the point. Should we hear what he has to say?
You know the great shaman Sitlali, right?
Yeah, the chances of her helping a random stranger just because we asked? Yeah, see, Lali really doesn't like dealing...
I heard about that from other members of her tribe. But they told me if you manage it, I'll even double your pay.
Oh yeah, we should definitely get to the...
It's kind of a long story, and there's tribal history involved, so you should hear it from an expert. Alie, if you could.
Of course. I don't often have an eager audience for this kind of thing. Nice to meet you. The name's Alie. I'm a researcher from the Fontaine. Unlike most researchers, I have a keen interest in ancient ruins. That's why I was invited to join Monsieur Montluçon's team. Have you heard of the legend of the great shaman Huitzilin? Yes. According to local records, she was a color mystic who lived over 200 years ago, and the most adept in her tribe at using... Out of all of her exploits, her most celebrated is... According to legend, the battle was triggered by an abyss invasion, one of the most brutal in Natlan's history. Even from a greater Amazingly, Natlan was able to turn the tide despite being at an extreme disadvantage. The key to victory was none other than a color. The color was extraordinary, illusory in appearance while also seeming to possess physical form. Legend has it that Huitzilin used the color to entrap all the enemies inside. This allowed her allies to launch a counterattack and ultimately...
Anyway, that's the gist of it. We don't want to take up too much of... That story is the reason I came to Natlan. I often publish books about the history of other nations. When I heard this story for the first time, historical records about Natlan aren't very detailed. We haven't been able to determine where the battle took place, or find any definitive evidence that it occurred at all. Even within the Masters of the Nightwind, people dispute the legitimacy of the story. Some believe it to be a myth. If that were the case, the story would not be fit for publication.
But if you're just including it in a story collection, why does it matter if it never happened?
Well, you see, the slogan for the collection is Restoring the Truth of History. Naturally, I need it to be factual. That's why I'm here. The Masters of the Nightwind are said to have a tradition of recording past events, so I wanted to consult their records. But I was refused access to the Obsidian Altar. Application after application, and all I received were a few ordinary woven scrolls with nothing to offer. Honestly, I'm just trying to promote their history, and they make such a fuss.
According to my research, their scrolls are considered sacred relics in addition to historical records. Naturally, outsiders, not to mention the scrolls we did get to review actually contain a huge amount of information.
We've been over this, Alier. There's no need to waste time on those scrolls when we have...
Citlali, you mean?
Exactly. You're well aware, I'm sure, that Citlali has been alive for more than 200 years. That means she lived. If she agrees to be my consultant, then no other historical records are necessary.
Oh, that's what you want.
So, what do you say? I'll quadruple the pay if it helps.
Well, it's not that we don't want to help you. Oh, right. The duty the chief gave us has a lot to do with wheat sealing. Who knows? The Battle of Seven Colors might lead us in the right direction. All right, we'll help you convince Citlali. Just let us do the talking, okay?
Of course. So, this is where the great shaman lives? A bit far from civilization, isn't it? I hope the person...
For someone like Citlali, it actually makes a lot of sense.
Is this graffiti her work too? I wonder if it's a cultural practice. If I could just copy it down,
We're here for a reason, Alier. As agreed, you two can do the talking.
Okay, we'll go knock on the door. Hopefully. Citlali? Are you there? We need your help with something! Oh, no response. Maybe she's not home. Oh, Granny Itzli? Are you home?
Hey, kid! If you're here to challenge me, book an appointment first. Traveler!
Looks like we came at a bad time.
Are you still there?
Well, at least we didn't get... Huh. So this is where Citlali lives.
I, didn't have time to fully clean up the place. Complain if you want. Besides, in light novels, people who keep everything neat and tidy are always too boring to be the... Also, I'm not a hermit. I'm just above superficial rules of societal etiquette.
She sure does care a lot about what we think of.
Oh, and that spell I used to transfer myself. It's my duty as a great shaman to check that kind of thing.
Oh, you mean when we could hear your thoughts? Nope. It's been so long.
Oh, then why do I hear the traveler's thoughts in my head?
What?
I can still hear you, you know. Don't bother. I'll find a way to fix it. First you hear my thoughts, now I'm hearing your thoughts. It was just a simple spell. I use it on you, and now it's on the fritz. Forget it. Just tell me why you're here.
Well, someone asked us to ask you to be their consultant. They have questions about...
So they asked the hero of Natland to put in a good word? Sounds like they know I don't usually trouble myself with other people.
The pay is really good.
Doesn't matter. I'm busy.
She sure doesn't look busy. Paimon knew this wouldn't get us anywhere.
From you?
Yeah, we were given a sacred duty to help your tribe weave a special scroll.
Huh? So, you're the...
We were surprised too! After all, we have no idea. But with Chef Biram's help, we were able to make some progress. We still haven't succeeded, but we learned that the key to weaving the scroll is the historical event those men want to ask about also involves color. If you help... She's giving us that face again. Did Paimon...
I can't decide whether this twist is completely out of the blue or if it was foreshadowed all along.
Does that mean you won't help us?
I need to think about it.
Then there's still hope.
Hey! What's the holdup? Just give us an answer already.
You agreed to let us do the talking! See, Molly?
Stand down, Grudok. As your employer, if I tell you to wait, then you wait.
Understood.
You're the great shaman who's been alive for centuries? But you're so... Apologies for the disturbance. Grudok is a recent hire, so difficult to restrain some...
You're lucky you didn't force you...
Well, since you're here, how about a discussion?
Do you have any idea who I am? Did you think Granny Eatsley would be fooled by your little performance?
I
have no intention of speaking to you. Your recent hire interrupted me right as I was about to make an important decision. Pull a trick like that again, and I'll make your lives a living horror novel, except 10 times worse. That's all I came out here to say.
Whoa.
Traveler, we have a discussion to finish.
You live up to your name, Granny Itztli. I apologize for the offense. I'm just surprised the Battle of Seven Colors didn't pique your interest.
You're investigating the Battle of Seven Colors?
Ah, the Traveler didn't get to that part? Yes, I thought the Traveler could help me convince you. But, if I'm not mistaken, you have a personal interest in this matter, don't you? I heard that the great shaman Huitzilin was a friend of yours. If I can resolve the controversy and prove the battle took place, I'll include it in my next collection. Then, with your support, your friend's heroic deeds will once again be known throughout the land. Inspiring, don't you think?
If this is really about that duty, then... fine. I'll help you.
I'm honored.
Save it. I agreed to help the Traveler, not you. You'll just have to leech what you can.
Well, at least she agreed to help.
Who are you calling heartless?
Not a problem. I always planned to work with the Traveler. So, did you directly experience any events of the battle? Do you have any idea where it took place? Can you think of any relics we could use to prove it?
Talk at me, why don't you? Fine. No, no, and no. I did live during the same era as her, but that doesn't mean we experienced the same events. I've lived a long time, but I'm not a walking encyclopedia. You decide the angle of your investigation, and I'll provide answers if I'm familiar with the subject.
All right. Even if you didn't witness the battle yourself, you still lived through that era. Your insights are very valuable. Alier, you had an idea about where to start, yes?
Oh, well, my plan was to consult the members of the tribe in charge of recording history.
Then, let's start there. Traveler, what do you say to officially working together? After all, it appears I can...
You don't seem super invested.
The Battle of Seven Colors is something I've only ever heard about. I know as much as anyone else in my tribe.
But how? Weren't you
I wasn't there when it took place, and she never told me about it.
But Molo Sol said the two of you were close friends. The battle was legendary.
Close friends? More like arch rivals. Something Montluçon would know if he actually did his research. Did you see the graffiti outside my house? That's not my doing. All students from Wheatzealing's School of Shamanism must pass an extremely difficult trial before graduation. Those graffiti drawings are how they challenge me. Of course, none of them ever succeeded. So, after Wheatzealing's death, her students had no choice but to modify the requirement. Instead of defeating me, all they have to do now is last long enough. As my rival, Wheatzealing only had one achievement that surpassed my own. And that was the Battle of Seven Colors. I can only assume she had some kind of secret technique at her disposal. It makes perfect sense that she kept it from me. I'm a fast learner. Telling me about the technique is no different than handing it to me on a silver platter. As if she would give away her one advantage.
Oh, that makes sense.
Anyway, all of that is secondary. Like I said, I'm only here to help you fulfill your... Don't misunderstand. This duty is important for my tribe, too. A great shaman should do her... Excuse you? I fail to see what housekeeping has to do with... Why is it that you're the one whose thoughts are exposed, but I'm still the one suffering?
Excuse me, great shaman, but we have a situation over here. We could really use your help.
Okay.
Of course the Battle of Seven Colors happened. The woven scroll proves it. Wheatzealing used a mysterious color to construct a maze and...
That's just urine.
Wheatzealing was one of the most powerful shamans of her time.
That's the biggest problem. She had students. A technique that powerful? And no shaman since has...
Her students are keeping it a secret, of course. If you knew a technique like that, you'd be a...
Oh, I didn't mean to cause an argument. I just wanted to ask.
Of course it took place. Why would you...
You'll have to excuse him. Some people in our tribe insist on clinging to outdated views of history. I'd give up now if I were you. It only gets more ridiculous from here.
Please don't fight.
Wow, so the battle really is controversial.
Am I the outdated one? Kids these days can't find anything better.
These arguments are precisely why I hesitate to include this story in my collection. Neither side was able to offer anything useful.
Wheatzealing was a passionate teacher. We were opposites in that sense. The technique she used in the battle must have been her masterpiece. There's every reason to pass it on. Still, if the technique is powerful enough to single-handedly stop an invasion, it also makes sense that her disciples would keep it a secret. We should check with the students from her school. If we can confirm the technique exists, we can deduce certain things about the...
But as far as I know, most of the shamans from her school occupy high positions in the tribe. Not the type of...
Right. The obsidian altar is off limits.
Is there a problem?
Most of Wheatzealing's students are respected priests in the tribe. But that means they had to go through me. Or try, at least. I, of course, humiliated them from a young age. Those who hold the position now are the ones who lasted long enough before I wipe the floor. If I show up without warning, they'll run for dear life. That's not...
Yeah, Paimon can...
Hey, don't jump to conclusions. That was just a metaphor. Only you have the guts to joke like that with me, traveler. Fine. I said I'd help, so I'll help.
Alright, the rest of you can wait for us here.
We appreciate the help.
Oh, are you in the middle of a ceremony?
Granny Eatsley?
What is she
Did some coward not show up after challenging her to a fight?
Or is she here to officially take over the tribe?
Whoa. It's like they really do see.
No matter what, we'll defend our dignity as priests.
You talk a big game for someone who lost to me the most out of.
What?
All I want is to ask some questions.
So, you're here to interrogate us?
Someone didn't sit pretty for their beating? Is that it?
We should just run!
Yeah, with the hero of Natland here, Granny Eatsley will be on her.
Sure, whatever you say.
Oh, it's the Traveler and his companion. That does make...
We wanted to ask about the technique you inherited.
So you can eradicate our school once and for all?
Disciples of our school have challenged her year after year, just as our master instructed. Sounds like she's finally had enough.
Well, you're not wrong.
If we want to protect our legacy, one of us needs to run!
Not this again. Just how much did you traumatize them, Sweet Lally?
Hey! You can't just say whatever you want just because it's in your head. I'm Granny Eatsley. A mere mention of my name and kids burst into tears. Love and respect? No one has the guts for that. What? You know what? Forget about your duty. We really need to fix this mind...
Sorry to disappoint, but if you're here to question whether we're qualified to inherit our master's legacy, we're not going down...
We're not getting anywhere. What should we do?
Huh? Oh.
Elder Tlapo! Oh, we must have disturbed your
Did Elder Tlapo just issue a declaration?
From what I can tell, in a single word, the message was...
Is Elder Tlapo telling us to...
That's not
Oh, you forget yourselves, my friends. You are esteemed priests.
But
I didn't expect to see you here, great shaman.
Well, I wasn't exactly planning to come to this crowded place. So you can save the pleasantries, Chief.
Understood. Now, as successors of Huitzilin, I understand. However, Elder Tlapo's declarations have always showed us the correct path. So, mind your manners and allow...
Good thing Elder Tlapo and Chief Bureau... Hi there, Elder Tlapo! Hey, he seems pretty happy to see us.
He's the one who put you in charge of the scroll, right?
Yeah, Elder Tlapo appointed...
Elder Tlapo, huh? He's still Claude. Hey, don't pull that cutesy stuff with me. You're an Iktomi-Sor Elder now. You occupy an eminent and important position within the tribe.
So, you already know each other?
Claw was only this big when we first met. He was with Celine's Saurian companion back then. She kept dragging him to my place, so over time, we got to know each other. She only came to my place to fight me. But at the same time, she always claimed to be my friend. She was the only one who dared to try, at least.
Well, you've lived a long time. You've probably...
The more time you have...
Oh.
Anyway, let's get back to business. I hate talking about... 200 years and you... I still haven't made up my mind, so you should head back. Traveler...
Oh, wait. We haven't reached out since the last time we failed the...
I'm just grateful.
Actually, we have good news. We found...
I'm all ear.
It's the Battle of Seven...
Huitzilin's claim to fame? That sounds promising.
True, but Grant...
Is that so? Huh. I've tried seeking her help in the past, but I never managed to coax her out.
Hey, don't complain! None of the
Forgive me. That wasn't my intention.
Paimon said you've been trying to figure out how to weave the special scroll.
It is my duty.
Why bother? The scrolls always end up completed on time.
If I may, this task concerns the history. Memory is sacred to our tribe. I'm sure a great shaman understands that better than a humble... I know you don't concern yourself with the daily affairs of the tribe, Granny Eatsley. Even so...
I get your point. Of course, the one time I wish you could read my mind. No, that's not.
Huh?
It's not important. Rest assured, Biram, with my help, the Traveler and Paimon...
You have my thanks, then.
Huh. So are you here to test whether we're qualified to...
You've already been tested, haven't you? Well, frankly speak, but that's not why I'm here. All you need to...
Fine.
You've heard of the Battle of Seven...
Of course. It's our master's claim to fame.
Then I'm sure you know there are those who question whether...
I did hear people arguing about that.
It's disgraceful. How can they question something?
It doesn't surprise me. Natlan has had more tourism lately. A lot of people have started... After all, everyone who took part in the battle has returned to the ley lines.
Well, it just so happens the questions I want to ask are directly related to the...
Listen, we know you were rivals, but do you really...
You think she's like you? Someone who can't survive a little scrutiny?
No, of course not.
Then let me finish. During the battle, Wheatsealing most likely used a tech proud enough to pass it on to her disciples.
I don't think any of us have heard of it.
Listen, I'm not trying to take it for myself, so be honest.
Yeah, no objections there. But I'm telling...
What's wrong with her?
Master's body of work is massive. No one student could hope to learn all her techniques. Master had no choice but to recruit many students, split up what she knew into different portions, and pass it down through various... So even though we see ourselves as representatives of Wheatsealing's school of shamanism, actually, I know of a shaman family that inherited some of Master's techniques. The family fell on hard times and lost the right to the priesthood.
But if they inherited Wheatsealing's secret technique...
Well, it's the only thing I can...
All right.
I'll mark it out on your map.
To be honest, I'm not optimistic about the future of this, and that's because the request came from you. You...
Proving the legitimacy of this battle seems more hopeless by the second.
Nothing we can do about that.
Well, even if our investigation ultimately proves the legend to be false, that's still a worthwhile result. Although I'm here for business purposes, I have a personal interest in this as well. I'm drawn to matters of historical truth.
That's exactly why I chose to follow you, Monsieur Montluçon.
Listen, I'm just updating you on the situation, not asking for your opinion.
Traveler,
you came to me for help with your scroll weaving duty, right? You thought looking into the Battle of Seven Colors could give you answers. That's understandable. But based on our instead of wasting time, you might consider taking a different approach.
Respected Traveler, let's not forget about the compensation I promised. You shall have it in full. Extra, if that's what it takes.
What makes you say that?
Yeah, based on what you've told us so far, it kinda seems like there's unresolved tension between you two.
You think so?
She claimed to be your friend, but picked fights with you non-stop, and never told you about her biggest accomplishment. By figuring out the truth behind the battle...
Closure? I'd say we're 200 years.
Ah, that...
Alright, let's go visit the shaman family! Hello, are you Aishaman?
Yep, that's me. Huh? Granny!
Get up! In a crowded market like this, the only person who should be trying to hide is me.
My apologies. Ever since my grandfather's generation, the shamans of my family have given up on passing your trial, Granny Eastley. Have we offended you in some other...
Man, this is generation...
Whenever I misbehaved as a kid, Grandpa would tell me about the thrashing he received from Granny Eastley.
Hey, don't get any funny ideas. This was your idea, remember? Keep asking your...
Okay, so your family studied under Wheat Ceiling, right?
Yes, although that pretty much ended with my grandfather's generation, unfortunately. The techniques my family learned from Wheat Ceiling didn't have much practical use in terms of tribal affairs, so... During my grandfather's time, turns out shaman techniques aren't that useful outside the priesthood either. So over time, we abandoned them. Of course, it's possible that we were just too foolish to understand the true power of those teachings. After all, Wheat Ceiling was a genius. None of her students have been able to...
Do you know which techniques were passed on to your family?
I'm not sure. As a kid, I remember hearing my grandfather talk...
Just think about it for a sec. Do you remember anything about a technique?
Decide the outcome of a battle? No. Besides, my family wasn't really known for our talent. If a technique like that exists, I doubt You might have better luck asking one of the priests. They're descendants of Wheat Ceiling's most gifted student.
Well, looks like we're back where we started.
Still no definitive evidence the Battle of Seven Colors took place. Alier, do you think
All we have are non-witness accounts. We could put together an interview, but that's not going to hold up an academic...
Then we have to keep going.
Oh, you're investigating the Battle of Seven Colors?
Yeah, you know...
Not a lot, but there's something special about my family. In addition to shaman techniques, Wheat Ceiling's stories were passed down. Say what you want about my ancestors' dedication to shamanism, but they definitely paid attention to those. And of course, the Battle of Seven Colors is the most...
We don't need another story. We need something concrete.
I'm not sure if this is helpful, but... The story passed down in my family is a little different from the one told in the tribe.
Really?
Well, it's Wheat Ceiling's personal account of the events, so it's a lot more detailed. For example, in the version I heard, the battle took place in a location known as Chico Mostuk Cave.
That means you can tell us where to find it. Have you ever been to this place?
Unfortunately, no.
I studied maps of Natlan before we left, Monsieur Montluçon. I don't remember ever seeing such a name.
Could your ancestors be mistaken, Mr. Ashemin?
It's unlikely. My family may have let the shamanism side of things fall by the wayside, but in the words of my grandfather, some things deserve to be passed down.
If Whitzelin's version of events differs so much from the general understanding, that makes it even more likely the battle is completely made up.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Hold on. You mentioned the Chico Mostuk Cave?
Oh, yes? Can I clear...
It's been more than 200 years. Huh.
What do you mean?
That location is now known as the Valley of Fog. The Chico Mostuk Cave is what it was called 200 years ago.
Precisely when Wheat Ceiling was alive. That means, Monsieur Montluçon, we can confirm the original site of the battle. Once we get there, the evidence we need should be at our fingertips.
Just when we thought all hope was lost. I never doubted you, great shaman. Allow me to present you with a gift as thanks.
Save it. Flattery won't get you anywhere with me.
Wait, Mr. Montluçon works in publishing. You're a huge fan of light novels, right?
Really?
Out of print, huh? Sure. Do you have any in mind?
Well, if we're talking collectibles, then the first edition of Shogun Almighty Reborn as Raiden with unlimited power is a must. It's the first major hit of the isekai genre. Several editions have gone to print, but copies of the first edition are exceedingly rare and valuable.
I see.
There's also its sister work, Pretty Please Kitsune Guji. It was Yae Publishing House's attempt at gauging the new market trends. It's opened the door to a new genre after readers grew tired of isekais. The sales speak for themselves. Actually, Yae Publishing House released a limited edition not too long ago, but it's almost impossible to get. Anyway, I'll take those two.
Sorry, I'm not sure I caught all that. What were the titles again? Reborn as Kitsune Guji?
These two titles are among the most successful and well-known works in the entire industry. You're telling me, as someone who works in publishing, you've never heard of them?
I'm a merchant from Fontaine, after all. Regarding this particular genre from Inazuma, I'm afraid I lack your level of expertise.
Amateur.
Of course! Sounds like a perfect arrangement. Now, there's no time to waste. We should head to the site of the battle right away.
Once we get there, it'll take a bit more work to determine the actual location. Right now, all we have is a general idea.
Well, I'm sure Miss Sitlali can help us with that.
Have you even looked at the time? It's already evening, and I have important plans tonight. You expect me to work through the night?
Well, what do you think, traveler? Okay, we'll find a place to rest for the night. When should we meet tomorrow?
He's persistent, huh?
How about noon?
Do we have to wait that long?
Great shamans have important matters to attend. That's only because I have important tasks to complete.
All right, as Miss Sitlali instructed. Let's meet back up tomorrow at noon.
Sorry. I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, good. I'm glad
You're really that scared of her?
To be honest, Granny Eatsley almost never interacts with ordinary tribespeople like us. She's a powerful shaman who's lived for over 200 years. As a great hero, you're probably the only one who isn't intimidated by her.
Well, thanks for today, Sitlali.
That's quite considerate of you.
Wait, didn't you say you had important...
What did you think?
Does that mean you've gone drinking every night for the past 200 years? Now Paimon's word...
No, I've had enough socializing for one day. I know somewhere quiet. We can just... Which will also give us a chance to solve the mind-reading issue. Considering the necessary spell work, I'd rather do it in private.
Try and stop me! All right.
Is this the place?
No, further up.
Further up? Whoa, this is like a secret base.
Sometimes I want the fresh air, but let's see if my stash is still here. Great. The hell... for the mind reading issue. Give me your hand. It might take a little longer, actually. I just need to share my... And... that should do it! You're not wrong. Hold on! Why do I still hear you in my head? Oh, did I not separate our senses completely? Maybe use... Oh, please work, please work. A great shaman should be able to handle this. Okay, what about now? Huh? And now? Huh. Whenever I try to remove the effect, it just flips direction and gets worse. That was just to help with the spell. Ah, shoot. I still hear you. For a human soul, to lose the boundaries of the mind is to drown in the sea of consciousness without a concept of self.
Wait, that sounds...
I read that in a...
is Sweet Lolly drunk?
Anyway, well...
Hearing the Traveler's thoughts isn't that bad, right? You should just tease him, that's what...
It's just... I'm not... Sorry, I said we could be friends, but I'm used to being Granny Eatsley. Someone intimidating, someone people are scared to approach. I don't have to deal with people that way.
Yeah, Paimon's been wondering. Why do you insist on living so far away? You could...
When you live as long as me, the color draws you in. You water it to see it bloom. It rewards you with its fragrance, but it doesn't last. With the passing of the seasons, everything withers away. Even if the same plot of soil is covered in flowers the following year, the one that's just how it is. Most of the people in my life will be gone one day. Just like a flower, getting close means losing friend after friend for hundreds of years. Until the weight of their memories crushes my soul. If people don't care about me, then I don't have to care about them. It's better if the people in my memories are nothing more than fleeting strangers.
Sweet Lolly.
You won't live as long as me, so you don't have to worry about that. Really? Then you should understand. Nearly everyone you know will be gone one day. Traveler?
Is something...
Stupid mind-reading side effect won't go away. It's not like I want to hear you complain about me all the time.
Okay, she's definitely drunk. Sweet Lolly, maybe take it easy.
I'm not drunk. I remember everything the Traveler said. Just gotta think of a response.
Uh-oh, not this again.
I'm fine.
Is she talking in her sleep or talking to us?
Bye. Gonna walk back alone.
All right. Who knows if Sweet Lolly will show up on time? She drinks so much last.
Ahem.
Sweet Lolly!
No need to sound so surprised. Drinking is just a way to pass the time. Last night doesn't count. It was a minor slip-up, that's all. Anyway, I gave everything a lot of thought. The Battle of Seven Colors holds the key to a lot of the answers I've been searching for.
So that's why you're here so early.
Traveler, great shaman. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Just follow me. I'll confirm the location.
Of course.
This should be it.
So the battlefield is inside this place.
That could explain a lot of our academic questions.
Don't lose focus. Once we get to the actual site of the battle, all the evidence needed for publication will...
Everyone ready?
So the Abyss invaded through—
When the Abyss first began to corrode the ley lines, they took every—
All the items here should be useful for our research.
You're not to touch a single one without my nod of approval.
I don't support invasive excavation techniques either.
Ah, of course. I'll defer to the experts on this matter.
All right.
There are weapons here from every tribe in Natlan. The battle must have encompassed the entire nation.
Sounds like we're getting closer to what the legend described. But all we can really say is that a battle took place here. There's still no evidence of any colors or some elaborate maze.
Wow, you're really invested in the Battle of Seven.
Grudok, send some of your men to search the area. We might miss something all grouped together like this.
All the bases.
Don't jump to conclusions. Of course this isn't the site of the actual battle. We have to keep going. I might have an idea. Traveler, try removing that sphere.
Whoa, we passed straight through! What was that? Some kind of color?
It's very close to the technique Wheatsealing might have used.
That's it? Doesn't quite compare to the scale described in the legend.
Still, what a terrific archaeological find!
Enough chit-chat. We should keep going. The deeper we go, the more we'll find. Hold on. If we step here, we might fall through.
You mean there are traps in here?
Remember how we were able to pass through the wall just now? It must have been because, on our person, we were carrying the same color.
Whoa, you're right. We can keep going now. What was that? What is this place?
Look! A maze made of colors.
It's real. I can't believe it.
Hold on. The quality of this space. This isn't reality. It's a realm of...
Huh?
No. This is a space constructed using memories as a medium. The principle is similar, but the two are not the same.
Correct?
Wheat ceiling?
What?
No. It's just a trace of her consciousness left behind after
Friends, this is my question to you. What is our strongest weapon against the Abyss, after all? Is it not after losing the capacity for memory, love, and... That is why, with our memories, we possess a power the Abyss... I have discovered the perfect medium for us to wield that weapon. The more cherished the memory, the more vivid its color. As memories disappear, their color fades first. That is why color is the best vehicle to wield the power of memory, guided by vibrant colors. Your capacity for memory is what will allow you to navigate this maze. Without that capacity, enemies will fail to cross the barrier in front of them and be trapped here. So, be brave, my...
Any ideas, Sweet Lolly?
Sounds like she left a tutorial. Not surprising. She always did have to handhold her. Take me up!
There are monsters here too?
Abyss creatures. Likely trapped here for some time. Looks like a few monsters made it out of the battle all those years ago.
What's with these color-changing blocks? You and Sweet Lolly fell through all of a sudden. You scared Paimon half to death.
Must be one of the...
Oh no! More monsters?
Ah, shoot. They're blocking the way forward. Let's get rid of them.
Incinerate! Full throttle!
This place is so pretty. If not for those monsters, Paimon would have never guessed this was a battlefield.
The showmanship's not bad. I'll give her that.
bridge made of colors?
Don't sound so surprised. We just need to cross and we should reach the end.
We're out! Looks like we made it through the maze.
Hold on. This is...
Whoa, so pretty! The thing inside the sphere looks exactly like the maze!
It's like a miniature blueprint made from a special dye.
That color.
The dye was modified using a secret technique to harness the power of memories and create mazes like the one we just witnessed. Without that power, it's just a normal dye. But the color it produces is still quite rare. I would say this is the most direct evidence that the Battle of Seven Colors actually took place.
The expert has spoken!
Perhaps I could take a closer look? It's an important piece of physical evidence, after all.
No, you may not.
What are you doing?
You noticed my signal. Not bad, Traveler. We make a good team.
Huh. So, you've been watching me.
A self-proclaimed book merchant who's never heard of Shogun Almighty reborn as Raiden with unlimited power? Please, that work was a commercial success across Teyvat. I knew you were fishy, but I didn't expect you to pull something like this.
Monsieur Montluçon, we just need a few pictures for our research, not the artifact itself. What if it gets damaged or destroyed?
Shut it! I couldn't care less about preserving this piece of trash. I would destroy it right now if I could.
But then there would be no evidence to prove the battle took place.
What if that was my goal all along?
What?
Huh. Pretending to be a book merchant? Pretending to promote the history of Natlan and its heroes was the only way to get information out of the people in this tribe. But make no mistake. I'm no lowly merchant. I am the future owner of the largest printing company in all of Teyvat. But the dye in that sphere ruined all my plans before they could even get off the ground.
We've received a report that your advertisement in the paper makes false claims. Fontaine Law demands it be taken down immediately.
False claims? The dye I advertised is an unprecedented innovation. It produces colors of unmatched radiance.
Unfortunately, its qualities are neither unprecedented nor unmatched. According to the lady who made the report, she saw a woven scroll in Natlan made with a similar dye. Even more miraculous, that substance dates back hundreds of years.
How? Creating this dye is the culmination of my entire life's work. You're telling me I'm hundreds of years too late?
Calm down, sir.
Sorry, it's just... I know this product will be a hit. The economic boost to Fontaine will be huge. We just need to advertise it as written. Fontaine's publishing industry is one of the best in the world. All we need to do is publish something in the paper, and all of Teyvat will think it was our invention first. We don't need to worry about more reports. Fontaine is far more advanced than Natlan. No one will believe such an innovative product could come from a place like that.
That goes against all of Fontaine's advertisement regulations. We can't do that.
What if I give you a portion of the profits? All you have to do is let the advertisement stay.
You're trying to bribe me? Careful. I'm dangerously close to reporting this to Monsieur Novelette.
I knew if I was just allowed to market my product, it would be a hit. A bestseller, even. I would be a giant in the printing industry. But now, no one will see it as anything more than a poor imitation marketed centuries too late. No matter how good the product actually is, not a single one will sell. I will never accept that someone from this backwoods, ignorant nation could come up with that dye. Not 200 years before me.
Even when the truth is right in front of you?
Ha! Truth is in the eye of the beholder. I'm already in the printing industry. I can go into publishing, no problem. All I have to do is destroy this sphere, write a detailed report about my findings, and publish it around the world. Then, the so-called truth becomes your word against mine. Once my report is accepted as fact, no one can accuse me of making false claims.
That's awful. What happened to
That plan hasn't changed. I will continue to spread my truth for all of you mean a hero of Natlan who's not actually from Natlan? And a great shaman who, according to rumor, abandoned. From a practical perspective, there's no reason for
Shows what you know.
Oh, since you like rumors so much, have you heard the one about what happens to people who get on my bad side?
Ah, the wrath of Granny Itzli. I knew from the beginning that you would accept my invitation, considering you've lived longer than her, you're far stronger than her, and yet, she has always been more revered. With the backing of the printing industry, I can take any book and send it to all four corners of Teyvat. And in my version, I can erase the Battle of Seven Colors.
That's not real history.
That's a no, then? Your history means nothing to me. But it's not allowed.
Done running your mouth? Good. Before handing you over to the tribe...
If this comes to a fight, per my contract, you're gonna have to go through me.
That's right. I didn't...
Wait! Aren't you subordinates of the captain? Why are you...
The captain, united in the pursuit of Mora, we travel the land to collect debts. Our loyalty is to Regreator, his interests...
Regreator?
The captain means nothing to them. They serve a different harbin...
This man has the potential to become a giant in the printing industry and disrupt Fontaine's economic system.
It's all been a lie from the very beginning!
I don't care who you serve.
Time to shine!
Suffer the wrath of Easley!
Rise with the sun!
That's what you get for messing with the hero of Natlan and Granny Eatsley!
When did this person get so strong? Looks like the men following the captain. Not good. This is becoming more trouble than it's worth. You're on your own!
Hey, what about our contract?
Our boss never signs a contract without loopholes. Even a veteran businessman like yourself fell into his trap. That's what makes him the best! Go home and read the fine print. All I did was trigger the exculpatory clause.
You!
The other stipulations have been fulfilled. I set up explosives around the cave, strong enough to just... Oh, and for security purposes, all explosives have been rigged to blow at a specific time.
What? This whole place is gonna collapse?
You were supposed to wait until I made it out!
That depends on how fast you can run. I'm off. Oh!
You think you can just waltz out of here? Traveler, stop them, and then we'll...
If I'm caught, I implicate my boss. Time for the backup plan.
Wait, don't!
Where are we? Back in the maze? Our surroundings look dim at point. She'll know how to get out. Let's see. Seat Lally! Oh, looks like it's not gonna be that easy. What should we do? The special color? The one you saw in that woven scroll? Why would it... You're right. Lead the way.
He triggered it just like that? If the technique isn't activated correctly...
Instead of a realm of memory, the subjects in question will be trapped in a temporary space like this. If you cannot escape in time, it's mutually assured destruction. But I can't fault someone for using it as a last resort.
I knew it! Someone of your skill wouldn't leave behind memory fragments just to parrot instructions. You must have the capacity for conscious thought.
I appreciate the compliment. It's been a long time, my friend.
This is no time for a reunion! The cave outside is about to collapse. I know time flows differently in this place, but that still doesn't leave us much time. Can you help me get out?
You misunderstand, Seatlali. I'm nothing more than a fragment of memory. There's not much I can do.
What do you mean? This space can be manipulated, right? The exit of your maze. I remember its structure. If I create an exit here, I can leave. You just need to tell me how to manipulate this space.
The maze you saw earlier was constructed using the memories of many warriors of Natlan. When people leave deep impressions on each other, their memories form connections. These connections are particularly strong between comrades in arms. That is how I created my maze. The connections between the memories were my needle and thread, and the special color was my fabric. But if that color is crudely combined with an isolated memory, one without connections, you get a place like this. This space is a combination of my color and your memories. There is no way to alter or construct anything within it, because there are no connections at your disposal.
Over 200 years, and not a single lasting connection. This is my punishment, huh?
Well, at the very least, you have a connection to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to appear in this space.
That's only because you never gave me a moment's peace. Still, it's a shame you're not around. You said it yourself. A memory fragment can't be used to create the connections I need.
Seatlali.
But now that I have the chance to talk to you again, I need you to give me an answer. Your special technique. You didn't pass it on to your students. You passed it on to the rival you could never beat. Me. What I want to know is, why?
So you figured it out.
After what I saw in the maze and everything you just told me, I'm certain the technique at the center of all this is the same one you taught me all those years ago. But you never brought up the fact that you used it to win a battle. From your description, it might as well have been a simple color trick. I'm getting the feeling you always meant for me to come here. But if this is a foreshadowed event, I'm not happy with the narrative setup.
Seatlali, ever since you learned that technique, you've been able to see a special color, haven't you?
You mean...
That color is the core of the technique. But it isn't my invention. It's something I discovered in the work of our ancestors. More specifically, you could call it the color of memories. In truth, passing on the technique is a process of using that color to tint another person's memories. Yes, the technique has the power to decide victory. But in my opinion, the capacity to add color to someone's memories is where the true value lies. You are fated to live a far longer life than me, Seatlali. I couldn't bear the thought of all those years existing as a blank canvas in your memory. So I wanted to leave a little color behind.
Your color, you mean?
One day, you too will want to leave behind your color and someone else's memory. When that day comes, you will understand my decision.
I have to get out of here. That's the only way to rescue them.
Citlali, what are you...
I understand the true principle of this technique now. If I can't construct an exit, then I will separate this color from my memories by force.
But you could lose a portion of your memories that way.
I know, but my memory is just a blank canvas I've neglected for 200 years. My friends are worth the risk. Traveler?
When you entered the realm of memory I constructed, I used your memories to learn about your recent experiences. I have a feeling you're the one who will be saved this time. After 200 years, someone has appeared by your side. The kind of person I could have never anticipated. The Night Kingdom harbors Natlan's memories, and the Traveler's connection to that realm is incredibly strong, surpassing even the shamans who worship the Lord of the Night. This means that, even without your tutelage, he can see the color of memories.
What did you say?
Although he doesn't know how to wield it, he unknowingly left behind a trace of color in your memories. That was enough to guide him to this space. You now have a connection at your disposal. Well, Citlali, it looks like part of this was foreshadowed, but the rest is a surprise.
Traveler? Traveler!
That's Citlali's voice! She's just up ahead!
This is goodbye, my friend. Your memories over the past 200 years are much more than a blank canvas. Cherish them.
Wheat ceiling.
Citlali!
Paimon! Traveler! Hold my hand.
Did we teleport out? Man, that place was so... Woo! We made it out just in time! Wonder what happened to the Fatui guy and the others.
He was most likely trapped inside that space, just like us. The external structures supporting that space would have collapsed with the ruin. Unless he managed to escape, he would have been crushed.
He still preferred that to being caught, huh? They were standing a bit further away, right? They probably weren't pulled into the space. Maybe they already made a run for it.
Hello?
It's one of Maluson's employees! Quick, restrain him!
Oh, I can explain. I had no idea Malusan was such a terrible person. I couldn't stop him from running, so I stayed behind and tried to find people to help rescue you. I'm so glad you managed to get out of there.
Either way, the guards will take you back to the tribe. You'll be their problem.
I understand.
Anyway, I'm not here to harp on you. I just need to know one thing. Which way did he run?
He went that way, but I'm not sure if you can catch up.
That way? Huh. Unless he suddenly grows a pair of wings, I think we're okay. Traveler, Paimon, come with me.
Hey, it's Elder Tlapo and a group of Ictomisaurs! They caught Malusol!
Something felt off about him yesterday, so I set a few things in motion.
My bank balance! No! No!
What's wrong with him?
That's one of the tricks Claw uses to scare people. He makes people hallucinate, but it's particularly effective.
Serves him!
I know. It was a lot to ask, making you come all the...
Was that a declaration? Elder Tlapo didn't appoint us to a whole...
Forget about him for now. The Ectomisaurs will make sure Montluçon doesn't escape before the guards arrive. In the meantime, we have unfinished business, remember?
Right! The special scroll! But the...
Don't worry. Huitzilin's technique hasn't been lost at all. Come with me. Oh, and Traveler? Everything you said about memory... I knew you'd want to tag along. What? Now, when it comes to weaving the scroll itself, you don't actually need to lift a finger. But if we're going to pass on Huitzilin's technique, your participation is critical.
What are you saying, Sweet Lolly?
Follow me.
Whoa, look at this place. Do you weave scrolls too?
Scrolls. Scrolls? I thought you were going to show me your masterpiece.
That I am, old friend. The technique I'm about to show you directly
Fine. What is it? Something that can turn the tide of war or prevent a great disaster? You probably want to challenge me, right? I know you don't have the strength for a real fight.
Old friend, my life is nearing its end. I'm afraid I don't have time for another match.
Hey.
Don't worry. I trust in the belief of our tribe that death is not the end, but the beginning of a new existence in the Night Kingdom, where everything is made of memories. So, do you know why our ancestors insisted on using colorful, woven scrolls to record our history? Because history is the memory of a people. We give our scrolls an orange hue, so the dead can still feel the warmth of the setting sun. We decorate them with kernels of grain fruit, so the dead can still enjoy the abundance of our harvests.
I know that, but something this important? Why entrust it to me and not one of your students?
As your friend, I admit, I'm being a bit selfish. I don't have long, Sitali. I'm not sure I can truly explain my decision. But I know you will understand one day. For now, will you accept my final request?
Just this once. I understand now, Huitzilin. Just like you said I would. Claw, help me move this outside. I'm going to color it. Traveler, Paimon, come with me.
We are like birds, soaring through the horizons of time. I linger between brushes of memory, seeking the color of my final journey. When I get there, may there be feathers to paint the sky, shades of rose. And fields of green to beckon adventurous souls. And azure oceans with which to sail into the unknown. And volcanoes too, where, despite the danger, hidden treasure waits to be found. And graffiti art, of course. Without that color, just imagine the dullness of night.
Anything else?
In the end, I hope everyone remembers my color too.
I hope everyone remembers your color too. All in all, it was just a technique for coloring a scroll.
The task I'm entrusting to you is much more than that. Farewell, my friend.
I knew you would understand.
This is the special scroll. How did you know how to weave it, Sweet Lolly? Hold on. You've lived for more than 200 years. You know how to weave the special scroll. That must mean... you're the one behind the gifts from the spirits.
Oh, well, it's not like I wanted to interact with the appointed. So whenever I delivered the scroll, I used illusions to confuse them. The fact that it turned into some kind of divine intervention is because no one was skilled enough to see through my tricks.
You've carried the duty alone for all these years? Even if you don't like interacting with people, why not teach someone else how to do it?
Traveler, you can see the special color, right? The essence of that color is memory. That means completing the special scroll is a process of searching for color within your memories. Passing the technique on to someone means sharing your memories with them. You need to leave traces of your color in their memory, and they must do the same. Even though I only confirmed that today, I've had suspicions for a long time, and, well, ever since Sweet Celine died, I haven't wanted to form that kind of connection with people.
Oh, yeah.
It was her final wish, so I kind of resigned myself to taking on the burden forever. After all, I have all the time in the world. But Claw never stopped appointing new candidates to weave the scroll, despite knowing exactly how I felt about the situation. I knew exactly what he was doing. And yeah, if I ever did share my memories with someone, I guess that person would be a friend. But it never got to that point. This time, though, you win, Claw. Take this. I guess it's my response to what you told me the other night.
What is it?
If I had to choose my color, it would be the color of this handkerchief. Countless people exist in my memories, and I know one day that will be my fate, too. A memory living on in someone else's head. Since you have a long lifespan, you're the perfect candidate to bear this memory and carry my color in your mind. Just keep it safe. And you better not forget my color when I'm gone.
Whoa. It's a little early to talk about death, don't you think? It's only been a few seconds since we made the friendship official.
Isn't that what friends are for?
Okay, this is a serious commitment. Well, Sweet Lolly, if the Traveler's going to leave their color in your mind...
Actually, their mark is already there. Remember the mind reading effect I couldn't fix? Well, sharing senses allows communication to occur between the consciousness of different people. Naturally, memories are also involved in that process. Although I didn't know it at the time, we both have the ability to see the color of memory, which means that when I shared my senses with you, a connection was created between our memories, and that connection is what caused my original spell to go haywire.
So, you can hear the Traveler's thoughts because you left traces of color in each other's memories? And that's why the Traveler could hear your thoughts too, because it works both ways, right?
Quick thinking. But only those trained in the mystic arts can maintain that level of connection. That's why I can still hear the Traveler's thoughts, but not the other way around. There's no need to worry, though. Now that I've figured out how it works, I'll get rid of it in no time.
Oh.
I lied. Hearing each other's thoughts actually depends on the strength of the connection between our memories. So, after everything we just went through, I bet you can hear me again. I knew it. Since the connection between our memories is already there, the only way to get rid of the effect is for one of us to forget about the other. Just messing with you. I'm a legendary shaman of my tribe. Now that I know the cause, of course I can figure out how to fix it. It'll probably take some time, though. So bear with me for now. Besides, I'm an open book. It's not like you're gonna hear anything embarrassing. Oh, unless I've had a few drinks. A shame? I mean, if you ever miss this whole telepathy mess, I could always share my senses with you again. No promises, though. Some thoughts are better
Ah, you did it? Your investigation into the Battle of Seven Colors must have been fruitful indeed. I do hope you share what you learned.
Wow! The scroll is finished already!
Elder Talapo's wisdom is never wrong.
Yeah, we should explain. Take it away, Traveler! You don't look surprised.
It makes perfect sense. History is the memory of a people. Now, it's just a matter of preserving this secret technique. From your description, it sounds like learning the technique requires the previous holder to share their memories.
Well, yeah.
In that case, I must work with our priests to reinvent the technique based on the principles you described. After all, memories are precious things, meant to be shared with those closest. You completed your task admirably. Finding a way...
All right, we'll leave that to you.
And please pass along my thanks to Granny Eastly. We interrogated the Fontanian merchant she apprehended, and it turns out he is the reason some among our tribe started to question our history. He hired people to spread misinformation about the Battle of Seven Colors. The recent friction within the tribe is entirely his doing. We now have a record of his crimes, and will begin working with
So he was behind the controversy in the first place. Guess it's easier to investigate with. Anyway, that clears it up. People don't just question their history out of nowhere.
Until we meet again.
You told him.
Yep, we left out the part about your contribution, but it kinda seemed like Chief Biram's.
You could have just said it was a gift from the spirits. I guess he is different from the previous chiefs. But if he figures out it was me all these years...
There you are! I've been looking everywhere for...
Oh, it's the other...
Please, call me Allier. After questioning, the tribe absolved me of any I'll be heading back to Fontaine soon. No employer means no funding, after all. But I wanted to finish my investigation. I'd like to ask some questions about Huitzilin. I want people outside of Natlan to hear her story.
Questions? Why should I...
Don't misunderstand. I have no intention of twisting your history or using it to make a profit. I believe amazing stories deserve to be shared with the world.
All right, you can ask your questions, but be quick.
Important play.
Oh, thank you very much.
Another day, another drink.
Oh, that! When it comes to light novels, your memory is like a steel trap, huh?
You're telling me. Yeah, it's not gonna be easy. You might need to go to... But I don't need them right away.
Of course! We'll get them sent...
Sent to me? Nuh-uh. I don't want a stranger knock...
And this is?
The key to my house. Don't bother knocking next time. You'll disturb my sleep.